So what do we expect tonight from Kamala Harris? Though the speech itself is being very kept close to the vest, this is what they say, quote, "I'm going to introduce her biography to the American people." Will we get a Willie Brown reference? Probably not. Draw a contrast to Trump, both tonally and on policy. That's not going to be hard. They're completely different people. One's a fraud, one's a patriot. 3, connect her vision for the country with her patriotism. In her stump speech, Harris often talks about the promise of America, and patriotism push is also an attempt to counter the attacks from Republicans that she's an out-of-touch San Francisco liberal and to help snatch up some support from fence-sitting voters in suburban and even rural areas in swing states. Of course, they're trying to culturally appropriate. The Kamala Harris running for president is like a girlfriend who says she loves her boyfriend, but she plans to change him. The masculine hour continued last night with the legend of American masculinity, Pete Buttigieg. Let's play cut 148.
Right now, the other side is appealing to what is smallest within you. They're telling you that greatness comes from going back to the past. They're telling you that anyone different from you is a threat. They're telling you that your neighbor or nephew or daughter who disagrees with you politically isn't just wrong, but is now the enemy.
Pete Buttigieg said absolutely nothing in that clip. And this has been the theme, by the way. There is no substance. The Democrat Party will bring people up on stage with there is no meat. Where's the beef? Where's the zing? Nothing. When Donald Trump did his convention address, when he was running for re-election, he went through piece by piece by piece. What was missing from Pete Buttigieg and from Oprah Winfrey's speech? What was missing from all that? What was missing from the speech given by Walz? Why were they not bragging relentlessly about the achievements of, first, the Democrat Party, secondly, of Kamala Harris? When Trump gives his speeches, he says, for example, he'll do this all the time. We got NATO to pay more. We withdrew from TPP. We approved Keystone Access Pipeline. We achieved energy independence. We replaced NAFTA. We deported 20,000 gang members. We had 500,000 other illegals we deported. We built 300 miles of border wall. We added 10 a week. We had the lowest border crossings in modern history. We had 300 new judges and 3 Supreme Court justices. We moved the embassy to Jerusalem. We had no new wars. We have a booming economy. The accomplishments are abundant. And yet you do not hear a single speaker say, here is what we got done with unified government. They had the House, the Senate, the presidency. Weird that they're not bragging about the Inflation Reduction Act. Has a single speaker, maybe, say, and we are so glad that we passed the Inflation Reduction Act? No, because the American people know that it's a fraud. Now, Obama did mention Obamacare, kind of in a, oh, yeah, they no longer call it Obamacare. What did it do? American healthcare is in a far worse place than it was 15 years ago. Longer wait lines, lower quality, diminishing standard of care, higher prices. So Obama, tell us about the achievement of Obamacare. Can't do that. Do they have a single person come up and talk about how brilliant it was, the way that they withdrew from Afghanistan? Do they have a single person come up and say how wonderful it is that we spent $250 billion on the war in Ukraine? They have a single person come up and talk about how Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have done a great job managing the Israel-Gaza situation? They have a single person come up and talk about how homeownership is now in grasp? No. Instead, you have Tim Walz, who is the mascot of toxic, feminine, low-T American men. Tim Walz say this. And this is what he thought was his great thing. Send this to all of your undecided friends and relatives. Kamala Harris is going to. Kamala Harris is, wait a second. Wait, whoa. Again, this is a psyop. This is a major psyop that is being employed by the media and the Democrat Party. Why didn't she do it the last 3.5 years, and why doesn't she do it today? Why didn't she do it the last 3.5 years, and why doesn't she do it today? They're trying to make it seem as if she's a senator from Illinois like Barack Obama. No record to run on. I have no power. You can't hold me accountable. because they have no achievements. Because the achievements that they're actually proud of are the ones that they whisper to each other, not the ones that they yell on stage. The achievements of the Democrat Party are the ones that they're sharing at 2 a.m. at their gay drinking sessions on rooftops in Chicago. Aren't you glad that we made Eastern Transgender Awareness Day? Their real achievements are the ones that they say behind closed doors. Aren't you glad we let 10 million new illegals in this country? Aren't you glad that we're destroying the dollar? Aren't you glad that we're changing the body politic? Aren't you glad that we're enacting the Great Replacement? Aren't you glad that we are grooming these kids? Aren't you glad that we're transing the kids? Aren't you glad that we're adding to the debt and deficit? But they know that they can't put that on full display because the Democrat Party is a party in drag. The stuff that they're most proud of, they mutter, whisper, and say when the cameras are off. But when the cameras are on, they make themselves seem like moderate Republicans. It's all a facade. They think they can game you, manipulate you, psychologically move you to vote for the Democrat Party. Play cut 128.
So here, this is the part, clip and save it and send it to your undecided relatives so they know. If you're a middle-class family or a family trying to get into the middle class, Kamala Harris is going to cut your taxes. If you're getting squeezed by prescription drug prices, Kamala Harris is going to take on Big Pharma. If you're hoping to buy a home, Kamala Harris is going to help make it more affordable. And no matter who you are, Kamala Harris is going to stand up and fight for your freedom to live the life that you want to lead. Because that's what we want for ourselves, and it's what we want for our neighbors.
Further evidence. Here is the Behar County Sheriff, who's a complete fraud. Now, this guy is either being blackmailed or paid. There is no in between. He doesn't believe any of this. Saying that Kamala Harris has done an amazing job managing the border. 10 million new people have come into the country. If the thing she was in charge of, and this border sheriff, you got to wonder what they have on this guy. Previously, by the way, in 2022, he was the one saying that Kamala Harris is not doing enough. We have you know that the administration, Kamala Harris, has lost 320,000 kids just missing. They could be in sex slavery. They could be in child labor. 320,000 missing children. Play cut 115.
When Donald Trump comes down to Texas, stands next to officers in uniforms just like mine, he's not there to help us. Don't think that. Not for a second. He is a self-serving man. I mean, look, just like when he killed the border bill, he just made our jobs harder. Now, Kamala, on the other hand, has been fighting border crime for years. She's gone down to Mexico and worked to stop the traffickers. And when the traffickers didn't stop, she put them in jail. Now, down in my neck of the woods, we call that fooling around and finding out. I may be paraphrasing a bit.
It's a sick person. It's a sick dude.